Hi, I'm Kevin Kuchenbecker, Planning, Zoning, and Historic Preservation Officer for the City of Deadwood, and this is another moment in Deadwood's history. We're a beautiful fall day here in historic Deadwood. The trees are changing colors and it's beautiful weather here. So if you haven't gone out and seen the colors, I encourage you to do it. Probably this weekend's going to be peak. With that said, we're really here to talk about a project. A couple of weeks ago we were showcasing the archaeological investigation that was underway in regards to our FEMA project, which corrects some of the damages from the disaster in 2019 where we had flooding and lost some of our creek banks, had some erosion, and so we are right at the beginning of this project. Obviously, when we found the archaeological foundation of the 1895 roundhouse, which was part of the rail yard here, we found that in the trench, the north wall, the south wall, some interior walls, and then we also found the corner of the building. Well, the corner of the building projects into the area where the new wall was going. So we've met with the contractor, we've met with the engineer, we've met with FEMA, we've talked to the State Historic Preservation Office, we're working with the State Archaeological Research Center, and we're going to be able to avoid this. While it may have a small impact, the bottom line is it doesn't have an adverse effect to our historic resource, and in this particular case, the foundation of the roundhouse. But what that means is more time. We have to consult with the National Park Service, the State Historic Preservation Office, the tribes. We got to let you, the public, know. So we'll be advertising on this. But I'm pleased to say that we are going to have no adverse to this historic resource, and hopefully we can continue the project along in a timely fashion. The contractor started to stage the block. He's removed the trees, and one of the things that we go through on the environmental assessment is if we take a tree down, we have to put a tree back in its place, a one-to-one. We're also working with the Game Fish and Parks. They've been great to work with, and of course we have an endangered species here called the American dipper. And as I get more and more involved in this, I learn more and more. For instance, the American dipper has 2 broods a year. Who knew? Their nesting period was from April 15th to the end of August is their nesting period. We have some nests along Whitewood Creek. We've worked with Game Fish and Parks. We're going to close those since they're not nesting right now, and then we'll reopen them when the project's there. So there's a lot of different layers of involvement, from local agencies to state agencies to federal agencies on a project like this. And I wanted to just share some of that. Some of it can be challenging, and sometimes it's very rewarding. Obviously, the archaeological work was rewarding, and now you have to work through that process. And so our goal is still to start sometime in October and finish by May of 24. It's a $7.5 million project, and when we're done, we'll have a beautiful addition of the restoration of Whitewood Creek, protect our historic resources from future flooding. Behind me is the archaeological site of the old powerhouse, which we have interpretation. We'll have interpretation of this rail yard in addition to what we have at the Mickelson Trailhead. So that's kind of an update. Stay tuned. We got lots going on, a lot of balls in the air, juggling. We appreciate the cooperation of all the agencies to expedite everything along and make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, because we have to rely on those federal funds to help us with this project. It shouldn't come down to the taxpayers of Deadwood, and so that's why it was called a national disaster here in 2019, and it's taken us almost 5 years to get to where we're at. But hopefully we'll be able to get this project moving along here shortly. So with that, that's a wrap.